Well, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate everybody turning out on a Wednesday. It's a little chilly out, but we're here for a really good cause. And so I just wanted to say thank you. My name is Adam Levine. I'm the project manager on the development side for this renovation. And we have some really wonderful speakers that came to welcome you as well. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about 491 31st Ave, this project. This is a 75-unit senior and high-rise development. It's part of the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program. RAD rehabilitates, transforms, and preserves the public housing throughout the city of San Francisco. Maintains it as high-quality, affordable, nonprofit, and private partnerships. And so I just wanted to acknowledge a few of the people that have worked on this. First and foremost, this project and this program wouldn't have come to fruition without the vision, the leadership, the resources, and the partnership of the city, of Mayor Ed Lee, of the San Francisco Housing Authority, the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development, the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development, and all of our public partners. So just a round of applause, please, for all of the public support that we've received. So like I said, this building is 75 units. The renovation has consisted of interior unit upgrades, of structural renovation at the ground floor, opening up this community room to serve for events like this, exterior facade renovations, HVAC improvements, new windows, new flooring, new paint, new kitchens. The list goes on and on. It's really been a transformative process. And it's really been to serve the senior and disabled residents that live here. And so I wanted to take a moment to thank those residents. I know this hasn't been an easy process. Relocation, noise, losing access to the common spaces in your balconies. But throughout it, you've dealt with it with flexibility, with accommodation, and just good humor and good nature. So I want to just take a moment on behalf of the John Stewart Company, all of the partners here, thank you. And really, this development wouldn't have happened without everybody in the room, from development and management and relocation and services to the public support to the private financing. Everybody in this room has been instrumental in bringing us to where we are. Did want to acknowledge a couple individuals in particular. Not seeing them at the moment, but John Trevor with Nibby Brothers Contractors. There he is. Jim Fagler with Gelfand Partners Architects, a few others that weren't able to make it, Chris Rivera with Regent Construction, and Michelle. They've been the brains behind the transformation that this project has undergone. And sitting in meeting after meeting, watching them pore over details of how brackets mount to balconies has just been an illuminating process, but really just a pleasure for me to watch an old, dilapidated building turn into something so vibrant, so warm, and so welcoming for the residents who live here. So thank you. And last but not least, a project like this doesn't come to fruition without significant financial resources. So I want to thank Bank of America and Freddie Mac, Freddie Mac, for their financial support and just ongoing support, really. This portfolio, the whole RAD portfolio, is truly a historic investment in affordable housing in the city of San Francisco. It's the magnitude and the expense just speaks to the dire need to preserve housing for some of the most vulnerable and the most deserving residents in the city. So thank you, Bank of America. Thank you, Freddie Mac, for all that you've done. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Jack Gardner. Jack's the president of the John Stewart Company. He's also speaking on behalf of the Limited Partnership, which includes Mercy Housing California and the Japanese American Religious Federation. So I want to acknowledge Will Tsukamoto, the president of JARF as well. And the vision of the partnership and Jack, from the beginning, the experience, the guidance, and the constant encouragement have been instrumental in getting us to where we are. So please help me welcome Jack Gardner.
Oh, you're too kind, and I mean that. You are too kind. Well, thanks. I'm Jack, and for those of you who have been to events like this before, can I just say, do we know how to throw a party or what? I mean, right? Okay, right? And there will be paella for everyone afterwards, and the music will return. But thank you. But so I'm Jack, and Adam stole a lot of my lines, so I won't. I'll just say on behalf of Mercy Housing and JARF Housing, Inc. and the John Stewart Company, we're so pleased to have you with us tonight to reopen, the grand reopening of 31st Avenue. So, and a big shout out to the residents. It's already been said. Adam's thanked a lot of the people who've really helped make this happen. I asked for the particular privilege of introducing a particular person without whose vision and leadership we would absolutely not be here tonight. Now, I'm so pleased to have Olson and Lydia and other members of MoCD staff here tonight because they really got it done. But they were following the lead of a gentleman who, whether it's from supporting the ongoing revitalization of the worst public housing in San Francisco through the Hope SF program, where we're lead on Hunter's Views reconstruction up in Bayview, to the reconstitution and the reinvigoration of the Board of Commissioners of the San Francisco Housing Authority, just a bold reinvention of that authority with Barbara's leadership and Commissioner Lindo, to the investment of an incredible amount of local funding, and really going to Washington and getting the most ambitious HUD rental assistance demonstration grant in the United States of America and putting it to work here in San Francisco on behalf of the residents of our public housing. We have one person to thank for that, and that would be, I should mention, this is one of 29 total properties that are being renovated with almost 3,500 units of public housing. You know who I'm talking about. So it's my great pleasure to introduce our very own mayor of the city of San Francisco, Mayor Lee. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Jack. Supervisor Flowra, I know you've been around for a while and certainly love this district. And there's a lot of stories to tell, but I think the most important one is that the thought, well, first of all, congratulations. This is going to be the first of 29 parties that we're going to hold throughout the whole city. And we should. We should celebrate the fact that people have decent housing. And you're the first to enjoy an effort that began long ago. But it was in the context that our publicly funded housing has been neglected for so many years. And people used to refer to those public housing tenants. And I know what that feels like because I grew up in public housing. And tonight, Ari from Bank of America shared with me his father grew up in public housing. And we both were driven in a number of ways to do good because of where we came from and the fact that we recognize where we come from and want to improve lives. And so for me, it was one of the first things I did as mayor, even though I've worked on public housing for many years in my life. I felt a first opportunity, a real opportunity to do something to improve people's lives who had kind of been treated as public housing tenants for so many years, was to say, I don't ever want to hear that again. That people should never be referred to as public housing tenants. You are residents of San Francisco, and you deserve decent, affordable, good housing. And that's the principle upon which this city, a city of love and compassion that we are so lucky to be able to work in, can do for each other. I want to thank Olson Lee for 27 years of struggling with building housing. And over those years, he knows that building 1,900 units of new housing a year for the last few decades ain't good enough for people. That now we're on a roll to do 5,000 units of new and rehabilitated housing, which I think we feel a lot better about given the housing crisis. I want to thank Barbara Smith for toiling in so many years, and now she has new partnerships and has enjoyed this immediate moment that we're seeing and that she hadn't seen for a long time, that the people in public housing are now enjoying the status of being San Francisco residents. She can literally see that. And I know you're going to make as many of these 29 parties as you possibly can. I want to thank Commissioner Leroy Lindo, who spent many years in public housing as a police officer, running around, having to deal with so much of the aspects of poverty. And I think I want to enjoy this moment with you too, because you've seen the negative side of life and had to deal with it. And I'm proud that you have been a San Francisco police officer and the Housing Authority Commissioner at a time we're helping to change people's lives. And I wanted to just say, tonight we have a cartoonist. You can literally have your mugshot made for you in a cartoon way. But Leroy, thank you, because I asked you to step up and be a commissioner where you used to actually have to be the cop. And I can share with you this moment that we're beginning to change people's lives so that you don't have those conditions where kids are brought up and know only a negative way of life. I want to thank Carole Flowra. Carole, where are you? There, Carole. 60 years right here. I think you're proud to invite us to your home, for this time, because I don't think you had a community room like this before, right? And you didn't have this kind of units where it's going to last another 99 years. And people can offer their grandkids and their friends a place to come and visit them where you may not have been proud to have done that years in the past because no one helped rehab these units. And they're going to last 99 years because John Stewart, Mercy Housing know what they're doing, right? And then in 99 years, I think John Stewart and Mercy and Bank of America will be around and they'll do it again. And they'll do it again because this kind of investment is worthy of people investing in your lives. This was not just a financial investment. This was an investment in people's lives. And that's what we do in San Francisco. That's what Sandra signed up to do as the supervisor, is make a difference in people's lives. And I want to thank Olson again because it wasn't easy, that trip, those trips to Washington, D.C., the vision that we had that was kind of shaky in everybody's financial portfolio of how to redo all of this housing. But it was led by a lot of passion that people should live in decent housing no matter what their income level or their background or their status is. And again, I'm proud of San Francisco because we're going to do this 28 more times. We're going to affect some 3,500 units of housing. But most importantly, we're going to transform how people feel so that everybody begins to earn the status of a resident of San Francisco and that everybody deserves that status being here. I want to single out Bank of America because they stepped up big time. $700 million ain't easy to find. And they're doing it on all of the entire 29 projects of phase 1 and 2. And we're just completing phase 1. I think it's some 13 or 14 projects by the end of this year. And we'll do the other in a couple of years, finish all of the rest. But during that time, people will go through the same process you are. We will spend a lot of our time because of the supervisor report, not displacing anybody at the same time, but doing it while they're on site or briefly off site and coming right back so that we never create the mistrust that we're moving people out of affordable housing and out of the city. That used to be other people's method to do so, and empty promises that were never kept. I'm about never making new promises. How about filling up some old ones and making sure we build trust in people who have been here, lived their whole lives being here. So B of A, you were my bank when I was 16 years old, and you're still my bank. And this is a good reason why. You make that investment. You're not afraid of taking the risk with us. We offered a portfolio to share that risk with you, and you're doing it, and I'm very proud of my bank that was up there in Seattle when I was growing up. And I'm hoping that the Bank of America will set the model for the rest of the nation because other banks should step up and we should not have to wait for Sunnydale and Potrero for so many years. I don't want to wait for 10 years. I want them to feel like you feel today in the next year or two, if we can work on so many more units. And by the way, when we work on those other very large sites, because this one's only about 90 units, right? When we work on the other sites that have several hundred units, guess what we're discovering? We're discovering there is land to build more and new affordable housing for many more people. And when we do that, we're going to take care of a lot more people and build strong communities, have both middle income as well as low income people working and living together all in the same area, and then improve the entire neighborhood. So that Sunnydale and Potrero and Alice Griffith, all these places that Leroy used to have to police, that maybe we police less and we invest more, and that people work and that people are living rich lives rather than lives of poverty. This is what the RAD program is doing. This is our vision. It's beginning now, and it's helping seniors who have been here, like Carole, for over 60 years. I am proud of the residents who live here, have been patient, as Adam said, patient for all of the right reasons, but you would be impatient if we didn't get this finished. And we did. I'm proud of it. Let's give this as another good example of what San Franciscans do for each other. Let's continue to be the city of love and compassion. Let's help each other out, and let's make sure it works for everybody, regardless of status and income. This is San Francisco, proud moment, and you got to have a name, because I can't say 439 31st Street. So, Carole, you and the Resident Association got to think of a wonderful name to name this place that everybody will be proud of, and then we'll have 28 more parties to celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Who do I have next? That's what I thought. So top-down support from the city is great, but of course it takes bottom-up and local representation too. Supervisor Sandra Flowra has been a champion of affordable housing and representing this district, and I want to welcome her now.
Good evening, everybody. This is just fabulous. Not only that it's in my neighborhood, but also that I spoke to some tenants and they're just over the moon about the renovation. So I really have such gratitude to the people that helped make this happen. Bank of America, Olson, back in your hood here, and then also to our developers, but our wonderful mayor that had the vision actually to do this and fought for us for the money to do this. This building built in 1976, an older building, and the mayor is absolutely right. Income shouldn't determine how you live and the quality of life that you have. Here in the Richmond, I'm committed for our seniors that are living here, these 75 units, to embrace them and also seek services for them, whatever they might need. We are building a senior playground in Golden Gate Park, very close by. We are beefing up a lot of our senior programming here. And also, we are having a new Safeway just down the block at 32nd and Clement. So I hope that everyone who is here, who lives in this building, lives well and lives safely and happily, and I hope you stay here forever and grow and age in place here in the Richmond district. This is a wonderful district in which to live. I've lived here for over 50 years, since 1959, and so I know myself that this is a place that I am going to age in, and I look forward to aging with you here. To everybody today, I just think this is a great celebration for everyone, and everyone today should feel really, really good about what we are celebrating, and especially the mayor. Thank you so much.
All right, like many have said, these developments don't come cheap, and Bank of America has been an outstanding financial partner. I want to welcome Ari Beliak.
So first of all, I want to start by saying amen. amain to everything that everyone else has said before me, and I'll try to keep my comments short as a result. So I visited this property a little over 3 years ago as we were looking at all the properties in the SFHA portfolio. Suffice to say, it felt a little bit different. It felt more claustrophobic. The people didn't look as happy as the people in the room today. And it's truly an amazing transformation. A transformation we hoped and prayed and we bought into the vision, but this is even better than what we expected. I'd like to thank a couple people. First of all, Mayor Lee, the affordable housing mayor. There's no way this could have happened without you. Your vision, your dedication, your willingness to put city resources, political capital on the line is really amazing, and it's one of the big reasons that Bank of America was willing to do this. So, we believed in you, we believed in the city. I'd like to thank the Board of Supervisors for obviously supporting the vision, as well as the city staff. So, Olson, thank you so much. I remember sitting down in an office with you and you talking about how this was going to be successful, and obviously we bought into that, as well as Lydia and Helen, who are here today also. I'd like to thank John Stewart, Jack, Margaret, Adam. Thank you very much. Jack was very good about making us feel very comfortable along the road every single time, telling me we didn't need to worry about anything. And you were right. As well as the Housing Authority, who's entrusted this property now to John Stewart, as well as Mercy Housing. So you guys may not know this, but Bank of America started in San Francisco in 1904 by A.P. Giannini as the Bank of Italy. And we've been a partner of San Francisco during the good times and during the bad times. In 1906, after the Great Fire, A.P. Giannini came out with some barrels and handed out cash to help rebuild the city. And when the Golden Gate Bridge was getting built, we were there. And when we were building AT&T Park, we were there, and when we were restoring the ferry building. So when the mayor had a bold vision for how to fix the public housing, Bank of America was ready to sign up, because we are here and we are committed to the city. We are committed to the residents. We are committed to you. So as bankers, we double count many things. So we count 2.1 billion, but we double count money as we are doing that. And to give you an idea, this is the largest affordable housing financing that Bank of America has ever done in spades. So $2.2 billion. Last year, Bank of America across the nation did $3.9 billion. So more than half here in San Francisco, because we believe in the city. We support affordable housing. We have 4,300 teammates who are based here who provide over 40,000 hours of actually community service in our communities. I'd like to just thank a couple other people. One is my Bank of America associates. We had over 40 people working on this, and they toiled night and day, and now we see why we did it. And then on a personal note, I know how long I've been working on SFRAD by how old my daughter is. So I'd like to thank my wife, because a week before my daughter was born, we found out that Bank of America was going to do SFRAD. And instead of taking paternity leave, I worked on SFRAD for 6 months. And my wife will tell you I didn't see my daughter very much, but we're changing lives. Sometimes she acts that way. So hope my wife is watching this. Thank you. So this is a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to the next 28 grand openings and hopefully many, many more affordable housing openings, because there's a dire need here in San Francisco, and Bank of America is ready to step up again.
Thanks, Ari. Nobody knows the transformation that this property and the RAD portfolio in general has undergone better than the Housing Authority, who's been here from the beginning. Commissioner Lindo, welcome.
I promise to be brief. First off, Housing Authority would like to thank all the developers who participated in this transformation of this place and all the other RAD properties. We're truly blessed to have the development team and blessed to have Adam Levine as a partner of ours in the construction of the RAD properties. The goal of the Housing Authority is to ensure that the tenants who live in these RAD properties are afforded the best possible living environment that we can provide them. Earlier today, I took a tour with Adam and some other dignitaries, and I just marvel at what this building is now versus what it was when I came to it as a commander assigned to the Housing Authority. I want to thank Mayor Ed Lee for allowing me to serve on this commission, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing from the other side. I have no problem engaging with the tenants. I like to listen to their concerns when they come to our commission meetings, and I try my best whenever I can to engage with them in their developments to listen to their concerns. I must say that the Housing Authority is 100% engaged in making life better for tenants in senior disabled building, along with the family developments. During the tour that I took, I was just amazed at the outcome. As we were milling around and eating hors d'oeuvres, I just casually went around and spoke with a number of the residents and asked them a simple question: what do you think about your building? And here are some of their responses. A number of the tenants said they are extremely happy. Good for them. One tenant in particular said, "It's now a pleasure to come home." Speaks volumes about the transformation of this building. Another tenant says, "The community loves us and has accepted us, and marvel at the way that the building presents itself from the street." Another tenant said, "We went through a lot, but we're finally home." The biggest concern of the tenants, and mostly all of the tenants, said that they are enthralled by the building security. They no longer have to fear people sneaking into the building doing unlawful things. They're very pleased with the security and the cameras, and they have no problems enjoying this building as it stands today. It's an ethnically diverse population in this building, which is a good thing. Everybody is getting along with each other, which is a good thing. And lastly, I spoke to one tenant, and he said simply, he's really blessed to be living in this building. On behalf of the Housing Authority, the Commission, the city, the HUD, I'd like to say thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that everybody's done. And to the tenants, enjoy your stay. It's well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lindo. There's one last speaker that I'm particularly honored to welcome. From the very first meeting that I had here, Carole introduced herself and just made me feel so welcome. She's been so warm throughout. She's been a fierce advocate for the residents, challenging me every step of the way when I need to be challenged, supporting me when I need support, and standing up for the residents' best interest. It's my honor to introduce Carole Flowra.
I am a little short. I am pleased to be here, and I was voted in to represent the residents here. And I've been representing the residents for pretty much as long as I've lived here, starting off helping the prior president. Yeah, that's me. But what I want to say is when we came here, we were afraid. We used to huddle. We were afraid to come to our social room, afraid to come home not knowing who would be outside, who would be sleeping in your social room. We had so many concerns. And John Stewart, and especially Adam, they had the open door and open phone policy that we can call them at any time to let them know what's wrong, what we need, and how they can help us. Adam and John Stewart held meetings here for us and all residents to come down. They even bribed us with goodies and food to come eat so that we can tell them how we felt about the building, what our concerns were. And they actually listened to us. And they talked to us one-on-one to find out why we're afraid, what is our problem, how can we get a better community going for us. So bottom line is, John Stewart has made our home a pleasure to come home to. We're not afraid anymore. We can come here and welcome our families here and not have to be ashamed to have them come to our social room or any of that anymore. Our lives are not threatened. Our elevators are safe. I mean, we just feel grand. And this is all because the mayor listened to us. Mayor Lee listened to us. Barbara Smith from Housing, she was so concerned, didn't know a lot that was going on. She paid special visits here when I told her our problems. And we felt we had nowhere to go. Barbara Smith came. We went down to the commission's office and we got to talk to Leroy Lindo and Joaquin Phillips and again, Barbara Smith, who's on the board there. And all of these people helped us. And the residents have confided in me that they love our new building. It's modern. It's leading towards the future. It not only looks good, it accommodates us. So I just want to say thank you, Adam, for having the open door policy, for always listening to us, and the mayor and Barbara and Helen, who always listen to me. She's somewhere in here. Thank you so very much. And we are happy. The residents want me to let you know that they are happy. And our apartments within themselves are more comfortable. Our patios are larger, and the community appreciates us better, not looking down on us like low-income people coming home or a problem coming home. We're respected among our peers now. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. There's really nothing else to say. Thank you all for coming out. Please stick around. There's so much food left. Oh, and here's Jack Gardner.
I just want to wrap it up by saying, don't go anywhere, Adam. Come here. The guy who was out here all the time at those meetings and the guy who was working so hard and putting his blood, sweat, and tears, his body and soul into this project was really Adam Levine. So I really just wanted to end up with thank you to Adam. And two, I just want to also point her out because, you know, at John Stewart, we do the development, we do the management, and there's this handoff. And so two's got it. Take it from here. Take it on home, and thanks for organizing this party. So let's get on with the party. Thanks, Two. Thanks, everybody.